dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. With Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
You're listening to Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and the Heartbreak Dude, Denton, and this is our WWE After Wrestlemania edition. We already did our WrestleMania thing, so if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It's got a lot of views. We're moving up again. I just checked right now. Our likes are going through the roof, our followers and everything. I enjoy it, and I appreciate you all. But it is time to talk Raw and NXT and some other things that have happened, and it's hard to do so. I got to clear my head after that fantastic episode of Dynamite last night.
Release the tape.
Yeah.
Roll the footage.
Oh, my gosh. We'll talk about that garbage tomorrow. But today it's all WWE, so it's all love. We are officially in the Triple H era, and I'm intrigued. Before we get into news, what do you think about that? We've had the Golden Era, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG Era, the Reality Era, the whatever era we were in right now, and now we have the Triple H Era. It was never the Hogan Era, the Stone Cold Era, the Orton Era. It's the Triple H Era. What is that? I want your opinion. What does that say? Is that vindication for Triple H doing such a good job, or is that just the hate of Vince McMahon and people's being so damn happy he's done? So much so that his own daughter came out and said it's the Paul Levesque era. Even she came out and was like, F you, Dad. Once again, confirming the fact that she probably had nothing to do with any of this nonsense. Because why would she come out and do that if she's a part of it? And why would they bring her back if she's a part of it? But what say you? Do you like the name? Is this the new era, or will we change it in a few years and make it the American Nightmare era?
The American Nightmare.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I'm excited about the Triple H era. I just don't like the name, the Triple H era. I think I don't know. We had the Attitude Era and the Thunderdome era. Like, we had all these cool names for things, even though the Thunderdome era was whack. Ruthless Aggression era. And then all of a sudden the Golden Era is pretty cool. And then we go to the Triple H era. It's like we can't come up with a better name, or the Paul Levesque era. We can't come up with like a cooler name for the era. I mean, I'm very excited about it. So far, he has done a bang up job, and it sounds like he is doing everything he can to eradicate Vince McMahon from existence in WWE. He changed the signature line of the show. Then now Forever Together at the beginning of WrestleMania and Raw. It's his voice now. I think he came out on night one of WrestleMania and said, "Welcome to WrestleMania," so he could probably get rid of the Vince McMahon WrestleMania voice that we all know and love. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely putting his stamp on things, and I'm excited about it. So curious to see where things go. I am curious to see where things go with the Paul Levesque Triple H era, but we got to have a better name. I don't like Renaissance era. I know there's a bunch of people out there that want the Renaissance era.
Yeah,
I don't like that either. That sounds very, I don't know, like a Renaissance festival, Renaissance, as Ted Mosby would say. But
hey, I met your mother.
But yeah, like, we got to have a better name than the Triple H era. I don't know.
I agree. And remember, not all eras are named during it. The Golden Era was not the Golden Era while we were in it. It's considered that now because it's like the beginning of, making wrestling big. But anyway, I was just wondering, getting your take. I'm sure it won't be the Triple H era forever. Right now it is. And I think the only reason why it is the Triple H era because WWE is Vince. Vince is wrestling. And now has no part to do with it at all. And this was like the first real Mania where he had no part at all, and that's kind of insane. And I think that's why they're calling it the Triple H era, because it's kind of like, all right, well, this is the first time ever in wrestling history that there is like literally no Vince McMahon. Bizarre, and for good reason. So it is what it is.
Good riddance.
All right, let's get this going. You have news? Yay, nay?
There's one little bit of news.
All right,
and then I'm gonna I'm a little miffed at the WWE at the moment, but which I'll get into after the news. But at the
yelling at a cloud. Let's go.
Oh yeah. This old man is gonna yell. But but the big news is at I think it was the night 2 press conference, Triple H confirmed that Brock Lesnar is still with the WWE. He's just sitting at home being Brock. So who knows what that means? But I thought that was pretty fascinating. I thought for sure he'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's not with us anymore. He's he hasn't resigned." Usually he's pretty candid about that stuff. Like when Edge left, he was like, "Yeah, he's not with us anymore. He's gone somewhere else. He's not resigned with us." Brock Lesnar, or he could have dodged the question. Yeah, we're only gonna talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah,
people that were there. We're not gonna talk about people that weren't. But no, he straight up answered the question and said, "Yeah, Brock's at home being Brock, and when he's ready to come back, we'll have him come back. If we'll call him when we need him," type thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. To me, there's a lot of things, and I don't really want to bring up the whole lawsuit, the sexual assault thing, because we can go for days on that with Vince McMahon. But like Triple H bringing Stephanie out on night 2 of WrestleMania to introduce things, even though she's named as person 1 or person 2 in the.
Is she though, or is
I don't. That's a bunch of hearsay. People are assuming she's named in the law. She's person 1 based on she's a female, and that's how she was described, and she's a higher up in the company. So people just assume it's Stephanie.
What is it saying she did?
She knew and covered it up. And then the people are Ashley Massaro, who passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm hearing about that stuff.
Yeah, her family is accusing Stephanie McMahon of, hiding the sexual assault on the military base, and so, but yet Triple H he answered questions about Brock Lesnar. He brought Stephanie McMahon out. There's, other people that have been around that, are still in the WWE that are maybe in the lawsuit, like Nick Khan and, Bruce Pritchard. I'm sure he was involved somehow, but so I don't know. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just saying, I don't know if the WWE is just playing like they're going to wait until see how the legal proceedings go out, or if they're just going to ride this whole thing out, or if they're just being like, you know what, we're not afraid. We'll do whatever we have to do. So that's another reason. Like if Triple H is involved in all this, which I don't think he is, but if he is, naming this the Triple H era is going to be a huge mistake if TKO has to act.
But they have to have confidence that they're not brought up for this. It's like the whole Diddy thing, right? Like Diddy has come out and said, like, they ain't got nothing on me. And he did that after they like raided his house. He wouldn't state that unless he knows for a fact they didn't find anything. Not saying he's not guilty, but I'm saying you wouldn't be confident in things if there's a suit going on and there's a chance. What would be how does that make you look? So I mean, Stephanie knew, Nick Khan knew, people once again don't understand NDAs and other things. They might have known. Maybe they didn't know
they can't say anything. Yeah.
And they can't say anything. So that doesn't make you a bad person if you're being forced to do something. Once again, Vince is their boss. So if that's do what I don't understand how that's not okay. But a person being told, hey, you have to like send me a piss video or you're going to get fired. Oh, she's a victim. But somebody being told, hey, you can sign this NDA or your career's done, but they're not being sexually assaulted. They're not the victim. They're all victims. All these people. If you're being forced to do something you don't want to do, and I don't think NDAs are forced. Maybe they are, maybe some. I have no idea. I'm just speaking we have to give everyone benefit of the doubt. Like when Homeboy, John Laurinaitis was like, yo, I was forced to do these things with Vince. And everybody was like, yeah, right. You're a guy. You're 100% a dirt. Why? Why is he not? Once again, the same thing is being held over his head as anybody else. So my thing is that these are, I don't know. I think the internet stretches. Everybody wants negativity and everybody wants flaws, and you have no idea what you're talking about. And these people, maybe they did know about Vince. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't know about everything. But Stephanie coming out and doing that kind of confirms to me that she isn't pro. She left the company. Maybe she had vibes of her dad, but it doesn't mean she knew everything that was going on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. People are like, well, she knew. Did she? Because she spends 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with her father. She knows his every waking. She knows where he sleeps at night. She knows what he's doing after hours. No, she's got a family of her own to take care of, and she's got her own job to worry about. So all these people. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying I don't think they would have put her on TV if they were not, if they had any doubts that she did know.
Yeah, that's because we're in a young kid era right now on the social media, and
Yeah.
that's who it all is. It's all, I know, oh, don't age people. Well, we all think differently, and this new younger generation just doesn't understand that. They don't understand that you don't know anybody unless you're that person, and that's a fact. So there's a life lesson for you guys. Unless you're that human being, you truly have no idea what somebody else does in their life.
No.
And I'm talking about husband and wives, and I'm not trying to throw it out there. I'm saying that you never know what another person truly is doing. So the fact that people think Stephanie and Triple H knew because they're related, I have a daughter. I would never share certain things with my daughter, good or bad. So why would, like, if I do something wrong, my daughter should get in trouble because she's my, like, makes zero sense. And
no.
Once again, done with this. But anyway, yes.
So I wanted to talk real quick about the WWE. I'm a little miffed at them because during the SmackDown before WrestleMania, they promised me a documentary series, the behind the scenes of WrestleMania 40, talking about the booking and talking about the quote unquote pivot and the changes they had to make and the build to WrestleMania 40. It was going to be exclusive on YouTube. They promoted this on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. They promoted this at Stand and Deliver. They promoted it on night 1 of WrestleMania, night 2 of WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania. They said it will be available on Wednesday exclusively on YouTube. Today is Thursday, and it's not there. Where is this video? Because I want to see it. It's like they have interviews with The Rock. They have interviews with Cody Rhodes. They have interviews with Roman Reigns and Triple H and Seth Rollins, and talking about this build and all the changes and the pivot that they may have had to make, and what the original plan was supposed to be, and it's not on YouTube yet. So I'm a little miffed. I'm a little irritated that they promised me something and they didn't deliver, and I'm really mad.
Maybe CM Punk pushed somebody. I don't know.
Maybe there's backstage footage that they're trying to edit in real quick.
Edit out, yeah, throw it in there. Here's my thing. So I see you're okay. My whole life I've watched wrestling, 40 years now, and I always wish to see behind the curtain. I've always been like, oh my god, I want to see like what they do and them being friends and this and that. Now I got to tell you, I hate it. I freaking hate it, and I think I hate it because now we do too much of it.
Yeah,
we're on Twitter being besties. AEW showing behind the scenes footage of how wrestlers are all just hanging out and they're about to fight. Samoa Joe and Punk are about to fight and they're literally just hanging out, and we're just supposed to ignore that while you're airing it on your scripted show.
True.
I just feel like The Rock 1 second is cutting a promo about how Cody Rhodes, he's going to give it to his mom, and then the next literally 5 seconds later in the same interview is like, and Cody Rhodes, he's such a great respectable. When I saw him and was talking about things I wanted to discuss with him while we were planning our scripted wrestling match, but The Rock is going to whoop his ass. I'm like, no, bro. Like, is it scripted or is it not? And so I just feel like I'm done with the behind the curtain. And I know I sound like an old head because I sound like Bully Riggs. I think I've heard him say that before, that we can't keep like giving we can't let people in. And that's coming from someone who wants to be in. I just think it's just like, I don't know. So I see why you're upset because you were promised it. I probably won't watch it. Maybe I don't know. Just because
I just want to, but also are they like? I just want to see if they're telling the truth. Like to see like, are they really? Because they'll say, "Oh, we certainly had to pivot because the Triple H era. We're going to listen."
Well, The
to
Rock said he didn't pivot, and then Triple H 2 days later said they pivoted. So I have no idea.
I know exactly. So exactly.
That's why I care, but
that's why I want to see it. But
yeah.
But no, I do agree. We do give too much away sometimes, and like you see them all hugging and dapping it up backstage when they're supposed it was like Jey Uso and Randy Orton were like dapping each other at Survivor Series when CM Punk came out, and
they were in the ring doing it.
Yeah, they were in the ring doing
it.
Yeah, but like the last time we saw Randy Orton, he was put through a table by Jey Uso. So it's just that was weird. So I get that. I understand that. We do give too much away. But
I mean, even CM Punk doing as simple as him hiding under the ring, and he took a picture of where he was before Drew, and that took it away from me because I'm like, oh man, you're literally just like sitting there with like all the stuff around you, like for under the ring. Did you see that picture that he showed?
I didn't see that. No,
yeah, there's a picture of him, and he was like, because he was hiding after the tape was released, but it's him like under the ring before he came out to cost Drew the match, and he like took a picture so you can see like the stuff under the ring, and you can see like the announcers or the audience or whatever. But I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
see,
It's just
that's
like
that
I
bugs
always
me.
pictured
Yeah.
under the ring was like Hornswoggle's like lair, and there's like stairs that went down, and it just bums me
It's
out
like
knowing
it's like
that.
an oil, like when you get your oil changed, there's like a whole flight of stairs. There's a whole
Yes,
nother level down
yes.
there, and
But
up
I thought
there is
maybe
the
there was
car.
like a girl
Yeah.
serving martinis. I had no idea what was going on under
It's
there.
like a
Now I know
exclusive
it's
club
just
under there. Yeah.
yes. Now I know it's like just nothing. Like it's just I don't know. Maybe Vince McMahon's frozen head. I don't. I just was like, it's just yeah. That was a
Yeah.
Walt Disney reference. Another
No, yeah.
bad human being. But yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. But
Yeah,
each its
I
own. I
think we
wasn't
do get
dogging you. I'm
yeah.
for everybody wanting behind the scenes. It's just I've always wanted it, and now I'm like over it. I'm like, we do it too much.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I agree. I just want to see like what they say about the plans for WrestleMania, because
Mhm,
we both have been in the camp that we don't think that they pivoted.
mhm,
We think that this was the plan all along. The Rock
mhm.
wanting to turn heel. What's a better way to get the best heel heat on him by having him take the spot of one Cody Rhodes after he won the Royal Rumble? So
Mhm.
I just want to see if were we right? I want to do it for vindication. That's why I want to see it. And
Yeah.
we were going to talk. I wanted to talk about it on the podcast today too. That's the other reason I'm upset about it. But no, it's not there. So I wonder when it's going to air. So
Yeah.
no big
We'll
deal.
get. Yeah. All right. All right. All right.
Maybe,
You just keep shaking it at that
maybe
cloud.
next
You have
week.
some
Yeah,
clouds out there. Maybe next. Yeah, you're right. Maybe next week. All right. You ready to get into Raw?
let's do it, man. It's a good Raw.
All right. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Let's go. The Raw after WrestleMania. It used to be an event. The last few years, it has been trash. Last year was probably it's in competition with Dynamite yesterday as being just a god awful episode. But they changed it around. So you ready?
Let's go. Let's do
get
it.
into the official Triple H era. The man, Triple H, opens the show to thank the fans and out comes Cody. A Cody tribute video is aired, and we get tears and happiness. Cody praises Roman, and the fans finally thank him when The Rock comes out. Rock and Cody talk. The Rock beat Cody at Mania, and their story isn't yet finished. They swap belts. The crowd chants this is awkward, and then Cody breaks The Rock's heart, who hands him something we don't see. Bum, bum, bum. 45 minutes later, Dragunov is here and he defeats Nakamura. The Judgment Day are out for a promo, and Rhea brags about her win. Priest brags about his win, and then R-Truth brags about his. Miz comes out, and we get a 6-man tag. Awesome Truth and John Cena, who you can't see, defeats the Judgment Day. After Rhea tells Dom he needs to handle Andrade, there's sexy Liv Morgan to put a beat down on Rhea. We get Roxanne Perez. She defeats Indy Hartwell. Sami Zayn cuts a promo and thanks people for his victory over Gunther. Sheamus is coming back. And as Pat McAfee said, it's fight night, people. Gable and Zayn defeat Imperium. Chelsea Green is upset. She wasn't at Mania, so she gets her ass handed to her for Jade Cargill. Sami Zayn gives Chad Gable a title shot. Drew McIntyre has a chat about losing his belt. Priest, Seth, and his hate for CM Punk. And in the main event, Jey Uso wins a 4-way to earn a title shot at Damian Priest when CM Punk costs Drew McIntyre the match. And that is our Raw review. Raw After Mania review. Lot to dissect. I don't want to dive too into every detail because I thought too bad we can't do that air the Cody and Roman because our Cody and Rock because it's like 75 years long and
Yeah, I know.
the Rock had to keep posing due to the what chance, but
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that kind of bugged me. It was like the fans were ripping the Rock for he takes too long. He took 45 minutes. There was rumors the night of Raw that they moved the Jade Cargill Chelsea Green match because the Rock went too long and people were. But I'm like, you guys also wouldn't shut up and let the man talk.
No,
like every time he raised the microphone, you got louder and louder with your boos and your chants and stuff. But I understand it was a hostile crowd in Philadelphia, so I'm not saying people can't cheer, but at the same time, it's also like, come on now, like let the man talk.
I agree.
But with that promo between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, there were really 3 big things that I noticed in that segment. Number one, the number one thing that I noticed, and I'm grateful for, is that Cody Rhodes acknowledged Roman Reigns and the Philly crowd, which I was really worried about. They chanted, "Thank you, Roman." And so I was happy that they did that. I wish that Roman would have gotten more flowers for the 1,316 days as champion that he had just the night before at WrestleMania. They didn't do anything really for him, not to take away from Cody's spot, but they couldn't take 5 to 10 seconds to give him a standing ovation or something to wrestle. So I am happy that the Philly crowd gave him that moment and said, thank you, Roman, considering where he was 7 years ago or whatever it was when he couldn't get a word in edgewise the night after WrestleMania. They were chanting F you, Roman. And he was like, this is my yard now after beating The Undertaker. Or when he won the Rumble the year before in Philadelphia and The Rock had to come out and help him because he was getting booed so loud. To now, like, I think people really appreciated Roman. So I was happy for that. The other thing I noticed, and maybe this is just a oversight, or maybe this is much ado about nothing, but Cody Rhodes did not thank Seth Rollins at all in his promo. And there's rumors now that Seth Rollins is going to be out. He's taking time off. Becky Lynch is apparently taking time off as well for her book tour. So, you know, they're saying that Seth might be out for 4 to 6 weeks, just resting. But he didn't mention Seth. He didn't thank Seth for being his partner on night one, or for the sacrifice that he made for him and being his shield on night 2 to help him get this victory over Roman Reigns, be triumphant in his victory. So it makes me wonder, like, is that planting the seeds for Seth to come back and maybe turn on Cody Rhodes because he lost his title because of Cody, because he was so focused on that. And now Cody doesn't even acknowledge him or thank him. So there's something there. And then the third thing that I noticed was The Rock did not really seem to care that Roman Reigns dropped the title to Cody Rhodes on the night before. And I don't know if that's setting up something for the future, but he seemed more interested in winning the belt than he did in holding the belt than he did about, man, you beat Roman Reigns. I can't believe the tribal chief let us down. So I'm wondering if that's going to either set up for Cody and Seth in the future, or The Rock and Roman in the future, or if these were done intentionally, or if this was done, you know, just an oversight from there. So I am curious to see where things go in the future.
Possibly. I feel like now in the Triple H era, we are doing more of, he's going to throw out little things in the background and maybe he'll use it, maybe he won't. A la, you know, Drew McIntyre talking to Paul Heyman in the background and nothing came of it. I feel like it's just now little nuggets. So in case, hey, we have something to fall back on. The Rock, I wasn't surprised. You got to remember, The Rock wanted to fight Roman. And the only reason why they didn't fight was because Cody was a little punk and came out and got bitch slapped for talking about their family. So it wasn't like The Rock was teaming with Roman because of Roman. He was teaming with Roman because family comes first, and Cody was talking mess. So Roman lost. The Rock tried to help. He did his family duty, and now he even said, Roman lost. It's time to move on. His story's finished. Now it's my story. Now you're on the final boss, as I've been saying for the past forever.
Yeah.
I know people like you and stuff, other people have said SummerSlam. I still truly believe this is WrestleMania all over it. I don't think we're going to get Rock and Roman until way after that, maybe WrestleMania 42. I feel like it's just going to be a long booked thing with the bloodline now. I don't think this Rock and Cody is too big now for SummerSlam. It really is. Cody can face anybody else at SummerSlam, Punk or Drew or Seth, and that's a big SummerSlam type match. The Rock now is WrestleMania or bust. I don't think he needs to be putting himself on anything but WrestleMania moving forward in his career. and Roman, no, Roman can still do the Saudi shows and stuff like that if he wants to, but you know, to bring in the dollars. I actually like this. Me and you talked about it. I thought this was a perfect way. I wasn't sure about Cody being the man. He got a huge ovation. Triple H got a bigger ovation, but that's because it's Triple H. Cody got a huge ovation, bigger than I thought. The video package was good. Well done. Kiss his butt. He's the new champ. You have to when you have a guy with a 1,316-day reign. I was glad Cody brought him up, but look at that pop Roman got. So imagine if Cody would have moved on, did a celebration, walked up the stage, waved, and then The Rock picked up Roman and Paul did, and they helped him, and he got into the ring and was gathering himself, and the crowd got to cheer him and thank you to end. That's how Mania should have ended, because yes, Cody had his moment and he passed the torch. But whenever you pass the torch, you get your goodbye. Shoot, even Hogan, when he thought he was passing the torch to Warrior, stood on that little ring that moved him back into the arena, and they had his moment where he stared off and got to see it happen. And the passing of Like we just got nothing. For it was like,
Yeah.
Roman, get off the stage, no press conference. We're done with you. Thanks for the best title reign in the history of WWE. See you later.
I know.
So
yeah, that was really disappointing.
It was, but I'm glad they gave him the flowers, and it showed that he should have, and it shows that Roman is going to come back as a babyface, as once again I predicted, and I think it should happen because I think Roman deserves which we'll get into later in the show, deserves his flowers as a babyface now because his babyface push was atrocious and it never got the respect it deserved, and now he can finally come back and have a good babyface run before he sets off into the Roman Reigns sunset.
Yeah, I want to see him as a babyface. I just can't imagine this character, this tribal chief, head of the table. I think it can work, and I think he can make it work. But I'm just having a hard time envisioning it working.
Just think MJF. That's how I'm seeing it. A cocky, into himself, still gonna say stupid things, but the crowd's gonna love it, right? They're gonna vibe with them. He'll still go with the crowd, but he's gonna have his little quirks and cockinesses, and like when he's walking on that treadmill, that video he just put on, he's mean mugging, and
nobody mean mugs better than Roman Reigns.
No, nobody does most acting like that. That's why I'm surprised he's not in Hollywood because he does everything else pretty well. All right, let's get. I don't know what you want to do next, but I want to bring up Judgment Day. Let's talk.
Go for it. Yeah.
You want? I'll start. Okay,
go for it.
I got a lot of crap because people don't ever listen to what you post, and if you like somebody, then you judge. I posted about how I once again thought that R-Truth segment, though funny, was garbage. I felt like it was trash and didn't belong there. And people were like, "How dare you? R-Truth is a saint. He deserves a title right here." I didn't say any of that.
No,
I love R-Truth, and I'm glad he won the title, and I predicted him to win the title. And if you would listen to anything I said, that's what I said. Like, I don't like him being involved with Judgment Day because Judgment Day doesn't need to have a comedy act. And they finally had a chance to officially move on, and they pop in R-Truth and then have him and John Cena and Miz beat the Judgment Day guys who did not get wins. What the break them up, okay? I don't want them to be broken up, but I don't want this either. Break them up. Triple H, for being in possibly the two greatest factions of all time, has no idea how to book factions. We want to talk about how great the Triple H era is. Look at Damage Control. Look at Imperium. Look at Judgment Day. Look at every other. These factions are.
Look at the bloodline outside of Roman with Solo and
actually
Jey,
bloodline
Jimmy.
Outside of Sami Zayn has been almost borderline atrocious. Like he does not know how to book anything to do with factions, and it's bizarre to me. Why would you finally have two champions? Priest finally won. He could be taken seriously, and you have R-Truth. Hey guys, I won it for us, right? We're gonna beat you up, R-Truth. R-Truth wins, yay! Like, what does that?
Yeah,
let R-Truth be a comedy act and do his damn thing. Defend his title away from Judgment Day, please. I'm over it. I am over it.
It also just felt random again because he hadn't been involved with Judgment Day.
No.
He's been beating them up. He was in a match against them. He's been him and Miz have been fighting against them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wins, and next thing you know, hey guys, I'm back. I'm with the Judgment. Like, it just felt like we had moved on, and then he randomly comes back, and even the crowd. I mean, I know the crowd loved it. They were chanting, "Yes, he is." When Damian Priest was saying, "You're not in the Judgment Day."
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to take a faction seriously when they lose all the time. Just like Damage Control and the Bloodline outside of Sami Zayn, like you said.
I agree. And once again, not a mark. And then they have afterwards, basically Rhea's like, we need to fix what's not working. Then they do that. Then Damian or Finn, JD, and Dom lose. And then what do you do with Dom? Oh, you got to go fix it with Andrade now. Okay, I'll go talk to Pierce. And then like, what are we now? We're gonna have Dirty Dom lose to Andrade? Like, what? Just break them up. Just have them just slowly fade away. Then we do that in WWE all the time because I'm over this like burying Dirty Dom, burying Finn Balor. JD has never even been taken seriously since he's been put in Judgment Day. If you just or have this great idea where you have a faction which is good for wrestling, and we have them taken seriously and start winning, and maybe give them some belts, or maybe just give them wins and have Priest dominate for a little bit and Mommy keep dominating and have the Judgment Day be feared. Because putting that belt on Damian Priest, I don't know if you noticed, he felt like a new person walking out. Felt like someone that's going to win matches and be taken seriously. Yeah. So I don't understand. I'm just boggled by it. Why the hell even give Priest the belt if you're going to make them a laughing stock still? I don't get it.
I didn't understand that at all. I didn't like that. You know, I'm happy that Miz and R-Truth have the tag titles, but keep them away from Judgment Day. You know, either have them feud against the Judgment Day, and I'm fine with that, but don't have this whole, well, I'm in the Judgment Day. No, you're not, Truth,
Yes.
and just all that stupid
Agreed.
stuff. It's getting a little campy at this point, and I don't really want to see it anymore. And then you know, the other thing I noticed on this episode of Raw was the draft. Woohoo is coming back. Who's excited for the draft? It starts at the end of April. We will have the WWE draft.
I wish it was a draft like that. Then they're not even exciting.
No, yeah, and it's going to be 2 nights again. It's going to start on Friday Night SmackDown and then Monday Night Raw. And it's going to be Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Oh, and NXT will be eligible for the draft this year as well. Reigns going to, well, who can I take from Raw? Don't forget, NXT eligible as well.
NXT with their first draft pick take CM Punk. Yeah, I'm going to NXT. Like, why is that in the...
I don't get it. Yeah. I don't understand. And then, and then we'll get into it with NXT, but they're basically giving away who's going to be drafted with certain person's career being put on the line in a couple of weeks and against the NXT champion. Right? You know, that's just a way, like, he's not winning the belt because he's coming to SmackDown or Raw because his NXT career is over. So we'll talk about that later. But like, we just had the draft, and I'm okay with the split rosters because I don't want to see Cody. It doesn't make sense to have Cody and Damian Priest have 2 world titles on the same show week in and week out. Yeah. So I'm okay with the split rosters, but keep them split. I don't want to see if Cody's moving to SmackDown, then keep him on SmackDown. He doesn't need to come to Raw. In Judgment Day doesn't need to go to SmackDown, and keep them separate. Keep them. We don't need to have a Logan Paul's. If Logan Paul's on SmackDown, we're gonna have an episode of Impulsive right here on Monday Night Raw because he's interviewing Sami Zayn. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, keep the rosters separate. And last year when they did the draft, like literally like the next week they had the draft and then they started the tournament for the new World Heavyweight Champion. And it was people from Raw versus SmackDown on the same show. So a Raw person could have won this SmackDown title, or the SmackDown person could have won the Raw. It was just.
And that was a Triple H era. So
yeah, part of it. Yeah. So I trust Triple H that he can book this draft correctly, but
I don't.
Yeah. I just either do away with the draft altogether or adhere to it.
It's that easy. And I don't understand why you don't want separate shows. You have too much talent. Your shows are long now. One's going to Netflix. One's going to keep it separated. They don't have to meet all the time other than a big PLE, the big 4. You can have them wrestle if you want. And then they can swap shows or whatever. If you win the belt, then you move to that show. But other than that, please stop doing this whole, like, Jade Cargill beat Chelsea Green up on Raw. Why? Why Jade?
She's signed to SmackDown
literally like 2 weeks ago, and now she's on Raw. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's nobody on Raw that could beat up Chelsea Green. It's just atrocious booking. I'm over it. Now they're all hanging out, and the whole Ava thing was laughable. NXT is in the mix too. Huh, guys? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
High five.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, you mean we're going to be taking people from you and then giving you the people that we didn't want to sign to each other's organization? Sure, if that's what you think. But, like, is Ava in it? Here's the thing. When the draft first happened, it was dope. They had all the wrestlers in the back. They made it real. They went back and forth. Raw does a pick. SmackDown does a pick. Raw does a whatever it was. They had the things. People got mad. People were happy. Let's do it that way. We can't do this new way where it's like 5 people. There's no order. They're just like, Raw gets 2, you get 1. And then it's stupid. And we can't do the stupid Fox executives in the back. Like, we just need to do like you have. Yeah. Well, now we have people. So let's have Pierce. Let's have freaking all this. They sit out there and they do just like they did in back. We're going to do the top 10 rounds. Let's go. And they do their picks back and forth and they show the people in the background and they put on a Raw shirt or a SmackDown shirt. Basic as shit. But I don't want to see anything else they've been doing recently, but I think Triple H is going to keep doing it that way. And if you are, please bury it.
Yeah. And don't do stupid. The Miz is going to wrestle Damian Priest for the number 5 pick. Don't do that stuff. I don't want to see that. That's dumb.
No, and I don't want to see the Judgment Day get drafted together, and then R-Truth show up and be like, "I'm in. I'm going to SmackDown with them." I don't want to see any nonsense. With that said, I mean, the only other thing I could really see going on was that I know I saw like a bunch of content creators pretending like Dragunov and Roxanne Perez were now on SmackDown and Raw. That's not why they were there. They were there because it was 3 million people watched Monday Night Raw, by the way. 3 million people watched Monday Night Raw, by the way. So that put eyes on Dragunov, Roxanne Perez, and the NXT product. They had quick matches. I liked it. I like what they did with it. Poor Nakamura. I don't know what the.
Yeah,
I love how Triple H booked Nakamura poor, but if you believe that, why don't you see the way, or Vince did? Why don't you see the way Triple H has been booking him? Because it is atrocious. But other than that, really nothing more, right? Anything else you want to bring up before we move on?
We didn't really talk. We didn't talk about it, but yeah. What do you think The Rock handed to Cody Rhodes?
I thought it was the heart from Moana, but I don't know if that was
the heart of Te Fiti.
That's what I thought it was. What can I say except you're welcome? I listened to Busted Open. I heard Bully Ray say that he thinks it's like a broken watch or whatever. I don't think that's it.
He
I
just
think
had
Bully,
the night before.
Bully Ray thinks way too over things, and sometimes his shit just doesn't make sense.
I've seen some people say it's a lighter and that The Rock set Cody Rhodes' bus on fire at WrestleMania because his bus burned.
A lighter, okay. I don't think any of it's that. I don't think we'll ever find out. I think this is who ran over Stone Cold all over again. I don't think this is like the anonymous GM. This is yes, I know Rikishi eventually ran over. So I'm just saying it took 7 years to get there because they forgot that it even happened. I don't think this is anything that's going to come back into play. I think it was just, and maybe it will. Maybe it was a note saying like, I'm taking your title. I don't understand why people were confused by the title swap either. Why else? Why would The Rock not want to hold the title? Of course he wanted to hold the title. He should have said it looks good on me, which he kind of did. But the whole point he wanted to hold it was because he's going to take it from him. And maybe that's what. Maybe he handed him nothing. Did you guys ever think about that?
Yeah, he may not have.
Maybe it's all just mind games. And
I bet he handed him like a contract. No, there was no paper. I don't know. He could have handed him something that said like, we're taking Roman down at WrestleMania, like their original agreement.
Maybe
or something that talks about maybe something with the bloodline. I don't know, but like because originally the plan was for The Rock to step in for Cody and wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and then Cody came in and took his. That's why The Rock ended it with "Don't ever break my heart again." So, I'm sure it has something to do with that. That he wanted to take on Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes overstepped that. So I'm sure.
Or maybe it was just a little baggie of a sample of The Rock's new steroids that he's putting out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, you want to be like me, Cody? There you go. You were looking a little skinny at that WrestleMania.
But all in all, I mean, it was a solid Raw. It wasn't the best Raw I've seen. It didn't feel like a Raw after WrestleMania with I know the days of surprises are probably over, but John Cena being there, we already knew he was there, so that's not really a surprise. Having the NXT people, it's cool if they're there permanently, but
they're not. No,
they won't be. Yeah. So I wish they would have given us something. Maybe use that night as the night that The Rock turns on Roman Reigns and solidify Roman's babyface turn. So when he does come back, he's a full-on babyface, or they advance some sort of story, or we get a new opponent for Cody Rhodes. Like, who's Cody's going to face now? We really have no idea. So it felt like a good episode, but it didn't really advance much.
See, I think differently. I liked it, and I thought it did. I thought that's what I liked about this, that Triple H didn't try to make it all about people coming back or Will Ospreay making his return. I think it was a nice little, we're moving our stories. We moved Chad Gable and Sammy. We moved what was going on with Cody. We got Damian Priest. We got Cody. We got Drew and CM Punk. 100%. We got Drew and CM Punk. I thought this is the Triple H era. We're not all about the hocus pocus. We're about the story, unlike another organization, and that's what they did. So I thought it was a solid Raw, but to each its own, right?
I thought it was a solid Raw, but all the Raws lately have been really solid, and I think that's my, like, I'm grading it against like high level stuff. Like, I thought the Raw in Chicago 2 weeks ago, the one where Cody Rhodes was bleeding and The Rock beat him up backstage in the parking lot, that's probably one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time, and I thought that was way better than the Raw after WrestleMania. So still a good Raw.
Mania though, yeah.
still a solid Raw, just not, didn't feel like a Raw after Mania.
I feel you. All right, you ready? Let's get into some NXT.
Yes, sir.
NXT time, and this was the NXT after Stand and Deliver. So this is like their Raw after Mania. The review, NXT review. Here we go. Roxanne Perez kicks things off, and she's in full heel mode. Roxanne will take the title to Raw or SmackDown very soon. Valkyria comes out and challenges her to a rematch when Paxley jumps her from behind, and Natalya will face Roxanne Perez instead. The match we've all been dying to see. Frazier and Axiom get a rematch for whatever reason. I don't know why. They got beat fairly squarely. JC Jane makes Andre Chase confess he lost his money for Chase U betting on Thea Hell to win her championship match. He tells Thea Hell, I believe in you, and that pisses her off, so she runs away crying. James and Dame defeat Henley and Jordan. By the way, I'm just going to throw it out here, get off my review for a second. I never noticed how damn fine Henley was until right then. Yeah. I don't know why I've never noticed this before, but my mouth was open the entire time. She was just standing there in the background doing nothing. We get no quarter catch crew versus D'Angelo family later on tonight. Javon Evans defeats Scripps. Ridge Holland hurts someone again. Roxanne Perez defeats Natalya with the help from Lola Vice and her hips. They don't lie. No quarter catch crew loses to the D'Angelo family. Oba Femi out for a talk when Ivar comes out not dressed in character whatsoever, and it looks like we'll get a match, and it looks like NXT and Raw and SmackDown are in two different universes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Dijak warns the metaphor. Jada Parker defeats Reese. In the main event, Axiom and Frazier defeat the Wolf Dogs legitimately out of nowhere to become the new champs. After the match, the new champs get jumped by the AOP in character. Trick Williams closes the show, and Dragunov accepts his challenge for a title shot 4 seconds after saying he doesn't deserve it. And they both get jumped by Carmelo Hayes, who issues a challenge against Trick next week in a steel cage match. And that is the NXT review. I know I crapped on it a lot in my review, but I actually enjoyed the episode. But there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
Ivar in a sweatshirt and jeans? Like, we're just going to ignore that? We're just like, no big deal, it's all good?
I thought it was actually a good look for him. I was like,
I'm not saying it's not. Saying,
yeah. I hope that this is his attire going forward, and he ditches like the stupid Viking stuff, like costume and stuff, because it's 2024, man. Like,
I agree.
I don't think those kinds of gimmicks work anymore. Like, people want, like, you can still believe, like, there's people that, like, I know that claim that they're Vikings, but they don't dress like Vikings 24/7. They go to like Viking festivals and Viking cons, and that's when they dress like them.
You know, they people like that.
I know like one.
No.
Yeah, I know. They go to Renaissance festivals and they're all like decked out in their Viking.
Are those people's names Ryan? I'm just asking for a friend.
No. It's not me. Shoot.
Okay.
I wish I was strong enough to be a Viking, but no, like, I like that look for Ivar, and I hope that he brings that over to Raw or SmackDown or wherever he's drafted. But and I think that man, like, as big as he is, he can move in that ring. He is like Kevin Owens in that ring. He is fantastic, and I think he can give Obafemi a really good match. And I'm stoked to see what they do.
But for one, is his partner dead? I forgot what the guy's name is. He's just gone forever. Secondly,
I think he's hurt. Yeah.
It was bizarre though.
It was
just like like Ivar, the music, and then out walks him in sweats. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm in jeans with a sweatshirt." It's Ivar.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's pronounced Ivar. Yeah.
Just like, what the heck? It was just really. It caught me off guard. I was like, "Hey, wait, huh?"
Yeah.
It
reminded me of that time when like Goldust came out in WCW. He was 7, and he he came out all decked out in the makeup, and then he just cut a promo, just ripping the company to shreds. I was like, whoa, okay. That's what it threw me. Or when The Undertaker came out that one time in WWF, but he came out with no stuff on or no hat, no nothing. And he cut like a shoot promo as well. I was like, whoa. So.
I was gonna say that was WrestleMania 40. The Undertaker showed up in a sweatshirt and jeans. They were like, Undertaker, Stone Cold's not here. We need you. And he was like, all right.
He was like, all right, I'll come down from my suite upstairs and
but I'm not choke slam ready, so it's gonna look really weak when I choke slam The Rock. Sounds good. Just get him in the air a little bit. All right.
Yeah. The Rock sold that pretty well though, but
yeah. But anyway, we can move on from that. But I just thought that was super bizarre. Okay, can we open up with the Wolf Dogs? Tell me what you think about that. What the hell? Like, why have them win? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they had them. I picked Axiom and Frazier to win at Stand and Deliver. So I'm gonna say that I was right. I'm gonna get credit for that. But no, like
they didn't choose to win. Why'd they get an instant rematch?
I don't understand. And then why have them win at Stand and Deliver if you're just going to have them lose on the episode after NXT? And then I don't know if you saw, but Braun Breaker cut. It was like an NXT exclusive, but I think it's online somewhere. But it's basically a goodbye promo to NXT. He was talking about how much NXT has meant to him over the years. Baron Corbin got on the mic and said that this guy has changed my career for the better. I'm a better wrestler, better performer, and a better man because of him.
I get that, but why not just do it at Stand and Deliver? That's what I'm saying. If
I agree.
To move on, why the next night on?
I know. And then they didn't. Random. Why not air the goodbye speech? Like I don't understand why they didn't do that either. Because he has been a lot to NXT, and
100%.
He did sign to SmackDown like 6 weeks ago, and he's had like one 15-second match in that time frame. But I don't understand why they didn't have Axiom and Frazier win at Stand and Deliver. It would have made, and then they could have come out on NXT and said their goodbyes then. And who knows what's next? Does Baron Corbin stay in NXT? He sounded like a guy who's staying. It doesn't sound like they're going together to the main roster.
So that's what I was going to ask you. They just got Wolf Dog shirts like 2 days ago? Do you want the Wolf Dogs together? Because I like them a lot.
Yeah, I love them.
Do you want
together.
Braun by himself? Because I think Braun gets lost by himself right now on SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on what direction they're going in with Cody Rhodes and everything. Because there's no bloodline there. There's no Roman. There's no Rock. There's no who's on SmackDown? Bobby Lashley. So I think right now there's a chance that he could be fine. But I want them to stay together.
Priest is going to SmackDown. They're not sending Cody. Cody's Raw, dude. He ain't going to SmackDown. There's no way they did the whole Netflix thing to have Cody go to hell no. Priest and Judgment Day are going to SmackDown for sure. Sure. They don't even call him the Universal Championship. Did you see that? They dodged that 7 times. They
the undisputed WWE Championship.
Champion. So they were not even trying to call it. They want that title to be the real deal. All right, what else caught your eye other than
we're getting
things I brought up?
A bunch of rematches apparently. We're getting Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria again. We're getting Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes again next week in a steel cage. And
why have Carmelo lose again? I don't understand the meaning behind that.
And then Trick Williams is going to get, or one of them, which one is it? Is it Trick that's fighting? Or no, it's Carmelo, right? That's fighting Dragunov at the pay-per-view?
No, it's Trick.
And if he loses, his title's over, or his career's over.
He has to leave NXT, not his career.
And
it's happening in 2 weeks. It's like a week before the draft.
So weird. He's either winning and he's going to be the face of NXT and Dragunov is moving on, or he's losing and he's coming up to the main roster. Me personally, I think Carmelo Hayes is ready to go to the main roster. I think Trick needs to stay in NXT for the foreseeable future.
I agree.
I think I think he'll be fine on the main roster if he goes now, but I think he can be a huge star in NXT without Carmelo there. And then when he comes up to the main roster in 6 months, 9 months, whenever it is, I think his star status will be elevated significantly. Maybe he can do something in the Royal Rumble and it would be huge. Yeah. So I think keep him on NXT for now and put Carmelo in the main roster.
They had this dude, Carmelo, who's been ready to go to the big show for a year and a half now, and they've had him sitting around. Trick got popular 8 months ago, and they already want to move him up. I'm not for that. Trick needs to have a title. Just like I said about Carmelo. Carmelo, 2 years ago, whatever it was, they were ready to move him up, and I said, no, give that man a title reign. He deserved it. Same thing with Trick. Give that man a title reign. Let him build himself up. I get it. LA Knight gets cheered a lot too, but he ain't ready for that title. Don't just because Trick gets whooped that Trick because fans like it doesn't mean he's over. People get that twisted. People get over confused with people cheering you. That doesn't mean you're over. Your song, whoop that Trick is over. Look at Chris Jericho. How's he doing in AEW right now ever since they took away his theme music? And Jericho's a freaking top 5 possible of all time. How is he doing right now since they took away his music? I'm telling you, take away whoop that Trick, what do you got? So he needs to establish himself right now, not just come over and hope for the best. That's my opinion, and people can crap on it if they want.
I think they need to, no disrespect to either one of them, but I think they need to keep Carmelo and Trick Williams separated from each other and let them develop their own characters and their own identities. Because over the last couple of years, it's been the Trick Mello gang, and then Carmelo turns on Trick, but they're still on the same brand and they're still kind of hovering over each other. And Carmelo's getting Trick next week, and I think keeping them separated will help. I think further both of their characters, and then you can always bring them back and put them back together on SmackDown or Raw, and let the fans fall in love with them all over again, just to do this again at WrestleMania 42. So
I agree.
I'm all for it, but just keep them separated.
All right, I know we gotta move on to our segment, but one quick question. I got one for you. One last one before we go.
Go for it.
JC Jane. Okay, she literally a month and a half ago saved Chase U. Saved it single-handedly. Her idea. She saved them. A week later, she was not for them. Now, what did I miss? That JC Jane went from saving Chase U, her own idea, wanting to do it, to now wanting to bury them and not giving to. Like, what was? I'm confused. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed a part where JC Jane decided she regretted saving them, or did I miss something?
That came out of left field. In my maybe there's like a exclusive somewhere on like Twitter or X or somewhere where she cuts a promo or something, or maybe there was a segment that we missed. It's Stand and Deliver. I don't know, but it's just I don't know how this came to be.
Single-handedly saved them and then bounced a week later, and now is like trying to spill their beans. I don't get it. Or the tea is what the kids say. Yeah.
And then Andre Chase, like, can we just like he's losing? He keeps why do we keep putting our funds in the hands of Andre Chase? The man, he's got a gambling problem. So can we he's like, oh, I lost money with your taunts, and I lost money with this, and I lost money with okay, then let's find somebody else to run Chase U.
But I also like that he went down to Thea's level, like she was a child, and was like, no, Thea. No, I did this because I believe in you more than I would ever believe in this company. How dare you believe in me more than the company? Like, what? Yeah. Why were you upset by that? I was very confused. And homeboy in the background, Duke, was like,
this whole angle, in my opinion, has completely jumped the shark. I'm kind of ready for it to be over with now.
Oh yeah,
like it's almost like they're trying to compete with the Shohei Ohtani gambling stuff, which he's found innocent today, by the way.
That's a joke. That's a laugh. There's no way he's innocent on that. I don't care what anybody. You steal $30 from me, I'll realize it. You're going to tell me that homeboy didn't realize $4.5 million was stolen out of his bank.
Oh, that's
a fudge at it.
Yeah.
Don't even. And I know I'm an Angels fan, so I'm like bitter. No, that was
it was atrocious.
That dude straight gambled. And
they need to get
making somebody else.
They need to get whoever investigated those into Chase U and investigate where Andre Chase is doing with those funds.
100%. And this guy
and move on from the story.
Yeah, right. And he has no chance of going to jail for this, stealing $4.5 million. Is that okay now in the world? I didn't know you could just steal that and just get like a slap on the wrist. So please explain to me why he's not going to jail. Anyway, if he did it, But I get what you're saying.
I think it's like they're trying to compete with that. They're like, okay, let's see where this story goes, and then okay, now we'll sprinkle that in with Chase U, and then it's like, oh, now he's not. They don't have any more to go off of.
Yeah.
So
what do we do?
What are we gonna do? So I'm kind of ready for this Chase U stuff to be done with. I'm ready for them to move on.
This whole story has been the same as I feel about Saraya and Ruby Soho right now. Like that shit is it was cool. Like 4 weeks in, now it's like week 12. Let's move. This is like let's end these stories, both of them, please. Like I'm done with them. Yeah, I don't need to see.
We finally get Zach Knight against Ruby Soho's boyfriend on Rampage this week, so that'll be.
No, I didn't watch where they announced on a Rampage. I didn't see.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I gotta watch it. Yeah, I was too busy pulling my eyeballs out after watching Dynamite. That was the week at WWE and NXT. It was a good week. good build. I'm excited for the era. I'm excited for the SmackDown to see where they're going with that. I'm excited to see Bayley speak and so on, and see Waller and Theory as tag team champions, even though they were not, according to Dave Meltzer, supposed to be at Mania at all. So they somehow won
You gotta
it.
stop listening to that guy.
I've never listened to him.
No, I know.
If I didn't have Twitter, I would never, ever even know he existed anymore.
But we, as like the collective, like wrestling fans, stop listening to that guy. He knows nothing.
No, he never has. Never. And everyone gave Eric Bischoff shit for that. But let's get into our segment. We have a special segment today. And what is our special segment? Are you ready for it? Are you going to introduce it?
No, we're ready. So we're gonna do something that the WWE should have done at WrestleMania, and that is give Roman Reigns his flowers. So we're going to introduce a new segment today. It's called
Acknowledge Me.
Called Acknowledge Me. And we're going to honor the great 316 days as WWE Universal Champion.
Heck yeah.
And this song is such a banger. Gosh.
Him and Undertaker, man, the best entrances with no like real music.
So, yeah, which like I don't normally like songs. I told you offline that I don't normally like songs that don't have lyrics, and that song gets me amped every time.
I agree. I mean, it's no Swerve when I drive, but I still go with it. I love it. All right, I'll let you praise him first. Well, we got like 10 or so minutes less. I don't know. Let's hear it. Let's go. Let's give Roman Reigns his deserved flowers.
So I talked about this earlier, but just where Roman Reigns was 7 years ago, 6 years ago, as the big dog to where he is now, you got to appreciate that. And just the transformation that he made in his character and his performance and just everything that he did in that 1,316 days as champion. It's just all of it's been incredible. There's people out there that are whether you are one of those he can't win without having help. He needs Solo and Jimmy and Jay, or you're one of those he doesn't show up for work people. You have to respect and admire everything that the man has done. He carried that company on his back during the COVID-19 era. He carried that company in the Thunderdome. His segments with Jay and Jimmy during the Thunderdome era were some of the most watched things on all social media. Some of the highest rated segments on TV. More so, like it was must-watch TV, must-see TV for just for that segment alone for Friday Night SmackDown. And it was because of him. He brought back long-term storytelling. Him aligning with Paul Heyman was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. He's made stars. Look, Jey Uso is about to compete for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso's had 3 opportunities at Roman Reigns now for the WWE Championship. Sami Zayn is just dethroned Gunther at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens has main evented 2 straight WrestleManias, and now he got his opportunity for the U.S. title at this past WrestleMania. Solo beat John Cena. Jimmy is on the best run of his career. Logan Paul. Everyone forgets Logan Paul wrestled Roman Reigns because he was on his podcast, and Roman made him look like $1 million. And not that Logan Paul didn't do anything, but that match with Roman elevated Logan Paul and made him who he is right now because people didn't think he deserved a title shot. He kind of ran with that and made that his character. Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, they had their beef, but when they were a tag team with Roman, I mean, there's so many people. Edge and Daniel Bryan, which I know we don't speak about them anymore because they're dead to the WWE. Claudio or Cesaro. I mean, there's so many people that he wrestled that Roman helped elevate in this run, and you just gotta respect it. You just gotta respect it.
I fully agree. You forgot one person, and that's Cody Rhodes. And
Cody Rhodes, of course. Yeah.
I think the thing with Cody Rhodes is that a lot of people don't understand that he wasn't even the guy in AEW, and that was his own organization. So when he came, it was a big deal, but he wasn't that guy. And Roman made him that guy. And Roman beating him last year, what everyone crapped on. Imagine if he would have won the belt last year. It would not even have been close. Yeah. No, Cody win at 40 felt special because of his loss at WrestleMania 39 and the build with with Roman throughout that whole time of beating someone of his caliber. Roman Reigns is just, I've always said about MJF being so young and this and that in AEW, but he was such an important figure to wrestling because everyone he competes with, has feuds with, becomes better afterwards. And that's when you know you're really, really good at what you do, because you're not doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it to get other human beings in the business over in the same, in the same time. And Roman has done that. Anyone he has touched is better now because of him. And you think about, I hated Roman Reigns. And I remember hearing that he was going to face Brock again or win at WrestleMania. And when The Rock came out and put his hand up, I remember how I was pissed off. I was like, why are we shoving this freaking guy down? His stupid goatee, his fake Cena-isms, just like Cody is now. I'm like, I cannot stand this. And this dude gets relapsed, I think, on cancer, correct? And leukemia and whatever, and had to leave for a little bit. And COVID was a big factor of that. And he came back. Credit as well, Paul Heyman. But we can do that another time. I praise Paul Heyman. But he came back as a tribal chief and put on some of the best work ever as a wrestler. Yeah. And you said earlier how you didn't like the COVID era, how it kind of like was like an era. I actually think the COVID era was the best of wrestling. AEW has never been better since COVID was around. And Roman saved us during
Roman
COVID.
did.
Bailey helped. I love the COVID era. So I think that Roman and just carrying us through that, and after that, I mean, look at Drew and look at Roman. It just shows there's levels to this. And I love Drew McIntyre, but Roman deserves his flowers. I don't want to harp on again about how pissed off I am that he didn't get his moment. Maybe it's because he's a selfless person. And if you don't really know that, watch his documentary. Homeboy is selfless as selfless can come. But he is just a great guy, a great human, a better wrestler. You don't have to be Will Ospreay to be phenomenal in the ring. You can tell a story as well. He does that better than anybody else. The man who can kick out at 2 3/4, like no one ever will ever be able to.
Oh my gosh.
Reactions, the chair shots, and the Bloodline story is the greatest story, even better than NWO of all time. Thank you, Roman Reigns. And I look forward to your end as a babyface in this run that you're going to go on. So thank you, Roman. And I think Cody knows that. And Cody probably thanks him a lot behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, one other person to talk about too is Seth Rollins in this whole thing. Like they intertwine. I didn't like it at the time, but I'm kind of appreciating it a little bit more now that WrestleMania is over. But I kind of like that they intertwined the Shield, which was, Roman's first original faction when he debuted in the WWE with the Bloodline, and Roman had to make a choice and, all that. I thought that was pretty, again, it just shows that yes, Triple H, it does have this finger on the pulse when it comes to the creative, but also this doesn't go down. None of this goes down without the Bloodline. None of this goes down without Roman Reigns holding that belt for as long as he did. And Roman being, levels above everybody. And yeah, it was just good stuff. Just the storytelling element that Roman brought back has been second to none. Because I remember, like, they were doing the 50-50 booking thing before, and they were somebody would win one week and lose the next week, and you'd have rematches galore on Monday Night Raw, and then we'll get a 6-man tag match on SmackDown, and then the rematch on Raw, and then we'll have a match at the pay-per-view. And if you beat me, you got to beat me again to get to become the number one contender. It was just all these stupid things, and Roman Reigns came in and just had even when he returned, he just had a different presence to him. He had an aura about him. And then he comes in, does the wreck everyone and leave gimmick, beats up Bray Wyatt, takes the belt from him, and it just took off from there. And yeah, Roman Reigns deserves his flowers. He made wrestling, I hate this term, but he made wrestling great again. He made it fun again, and he made it better. In some of the darkest times of the company, darkest times of the world, he was a beacon of light, and I appreciate him. And now I'm curious to see what happens next. I mean, you think it's going to be Rock and Cody. I think it's going to be Rock and Roman at 41. And Rock's going to interfere. It's going to be Rock and Cody at SummerSlam for the title. And that's when Roman comes back and he costs Rock the belt and turns babyface. So we've all thought Rock was going to turn on Roman this whole time. I think Roman is going to turn on The Rock become a babyface, help Cody win, and then it'll set up for Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41.
I'm all for it. So, on behalf of Two Dudes with Attitudes, the wrestling podcast, we'd like to thank Roman Reigns, and we acknowledge you, my man. We acknowledge you.
Oop, hold up.
Acknowledge me.
Oh, man.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Play it.
Yeah, let's play it
tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow for our AEW edition. I'm assuming that's going to be fun. I still got to finish a couple things of AEW. Let's see if I can get through it. I'm sure it's better than Dynamite. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton. You can catch me on all social media at HBD Denton, wherever you want to hear me talk, see me, do whatever. We appreciate you for tuning in to our WrestleMania watch-along, everything else you did for us over the past week. It's truly appreciated. All the followers, we love you guys. With me, as always, is the new Intercontinental Champion,
Sami Zayn. Ryan enjoys wrestling. Go follow me on all the social media platforms as well. We're continuing to blow up on YouTube. We're over we have almost 1,100 followers now, so we're taking off. Go follow us on TikTok at Two Dudes with Attitudes. If you want to follow us on X, go for it at Two Dudes PC. We're kind of done with X because it's a cesspool, but go follow us there. We appreciate any love and support that we get anywhere. And then, of course, Apple, Spotify, you know what to do. Leave us 5-star ratings and reviews because 2024 is going to be the year of the dudes, and 2025 is going to be even better.
Yep, already has been. Two Dudes with Attitudes, Wolfpack, Roman Reigns, we out.